Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvijesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. In this session, we continue to discuss from the 9th and 10th verses of the 19th chapter of 1st canto Srimad Bhagavatam. We have already discussed these two verses in 4 different parts in 4 previous sessions. So this is discussion part 5, the 5th part of this these 2 verses. We are discussing the different sages who visited Parikshit Maharaj's saintly assembly. So next, Srila Prabhupada describes in brief the history of one great sage, Angira. So Angira is described here. He is one of the 6 mental sons of Brahma. What is the meaning of mental sons of Brahma? Brahma is the first created being in this entire universe at the beginning of creation. So Brahma is born on a lotus flower that emanates from Garbhodaka Shayi Vishnu, Padmanabha Vishnu. Padmanabha is called Padmanabha. This Vishnu is called Padmanabha because from his navel one lotus flower comes out, and on that lotus flower Brahma is born. So Brahma is also called Padmaja, one who is born on a lotus flower. He is the first created being. He is created directly by Vishnu. Because at the beginning of creation there is no one else other than Vishnu in this material world. Of course, in the spiritual world, which is eternal, Supreme Lord and all his expansions, his devotees, eternal devotees, everyone is there, always. But in the material world, it is always created, maintained and destroyed. So at the time of creation, first of all, Brahma is born among the living beings who have to take birth again because they are not liberated in the previous time of destruction of this material world. Those who are not liberated, they are lying in a dormant condition in the material energy, Mahatattva. So then they are again given birth, given bodies. Given birth means given bodies by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord called creation. So creation, 2 things happen. One is creating the material diversities or the varieties from the material energy in terms of the elements, earth, water, fire, air, sky, and then the different planets and the varieties of living conditions on the planets. The rivers, the mountains, the forests, etc., etc. All that. All the places of inhabitation of the living entities have to be first created. And that is done by Garbhodaka Shayi Vishnu. He creates the different diversities in this material world. Then Brahma is born from Vishnu, and Brahma creates the first of the other creatures in this universe at the beginning of creation. They call Prajapatis, those who will populate the different parts of the universe, different planets with different species of living beings. So Brahma creates from different parts of his own body, because there's no one else other than Brahma. So Brahma is empowered to generate the Prajapatis from his mind, from his different parts of the body. So from his mind, Narada is born, and Angira is also a rishi who is born from Brahma's mind. So therefore, Angira Rishi is described as Manasaputra, mental son of Brahma at the beginning of creation. And Narada is another Manasaputra, the son of Brahma. And Angira is also described as the father of Brihaspati, the great learned priest of the demigods and the heavenly planets. Brihaspati is another great sage. He is the learned priest of the Devatas. That means he advises the king of heaven, Indra, on all religious matters, spiritual matters. He advises King Indra as well as the Devatas. Angira was born of the semen of Brahmaji, given to a sender of fire. So the method of birth is extraordinary in these cases, because Brahma is empowered to create in different ways. Utatya and Samvarta are his sons, Angira's sons. It is said that Angira Rishi is still performing austerity and chanting the holy name of the Lord at a place known as Alokananda on the bank of the Ganges. Especially in the Himalayas, there are crores of holy places. How many? Crores of holy places. Koti, koti, koti. In fact, it's not an exaggeration if we say every spot in the Himalayas is actually a holy place. That is the significance of the Himalayan mountains. That's why this tract of land, which is having Himalayas to the north and ocean or seas on the three other sides, is actually a very special tract of land. It's a very special tract of land. It's the most holy land on the entire earth planet. This what we now call as India is the most holy place. And among the different holy places, maximum number of holy places are concentrated in the Himalayan mountains. So in those Himalayan mountains, there are many millions and billions of saintly persons. Most of them we cannot see with these eyes, even if we visit the Himalayas, because they are present there in subtle body. And what are they doing? Generally, saintly persons live in holy places, performing spiritual tapasya, spiritual activities, engaged in meditation, engaged in worshipping the Supreme Lord, engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord, engaged in spiritual activities. That is the purpose of a saintly person residing in a holy place. So about Angira, it is said here, he is still living in a holy place known as Alokananda. There are many holy places. I don't know where this is, somewhere in the Himalayas, on the bank of the river Ganga. Ganga flows in the Himalayas in several branches, and different names are there for the different branches of Ganga: Mandakini, Bhagirathi, and Ganga, and like that. So many different names of Ganga, different branches are given in the Himalayas, Himalayan region. So he's still performing austerity and chanting the holy name of the Lord. See, this is a very confidential instruction in the scriptures, that the best spiritual practice is to chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord in a dedicated way for making rapid advancement in Krishna consciousness. Next, there is a description of Parashurama. He is the son of Maharishi Jamadagni and Srimati Renuka. He is also known as Renuka Sutta by his mother's name, Renuka Sutta, the son of Renuka. He is one of the powerful incarnations of God. In the Dashavatara Stotra, his name is mentioned as one of the Leela Avataras, pastime incarnations of the Lord. As a pastime, what did he do? He killed the Kshatriya community as a whole 21 times. He went around the earth planet when the earth was overburdened by Kshatriyas who were posing as kings, but they were actually very, very puffed up with power, and they were not properly ruling in a righteous way. They were exploiting the citizens. So Parashurama became very angry at these Kshatriyas, and he decided to clean up the earth planet, get rid of such Kshatriyas. And therefore he killed them completely, almost completely, by going around the earth 21 times. He just had one Parashu. He's called Parashurama. His name is Rama, but he's named as Parashurama because there are 3 Ramas mentioned in the Dashavatara Stotra. All 3 incarnations are known as Rama, but depending on the specific quality or characteristic, they are distinguished. The first Rama mentioned is Parashurama, the son of Maharishi Jamadagni and Renuka. He is having a weapon called Parashu. Parashu means an axe. Axe as a weapon. With that one Parashu, one axe, he went around simply chopping off the heads of all these miscreant Kshatriyas. He went around the world and simply killed all these Kshatriyas. So he's called Parashurama. The second Rama is the famous Lord Ramachandra. He's called Kodanda Rama. He had a bow and some arrows, and he used to use that bow and arrows as a chief weapon for fighting as a Kshatriya king. And the third Rama is called Balarama or Halayudha Rama. His weapon was a plow. With that plow, once Balarama, when he was insulted by the Kurus, Kauravas, then he decided to teach them a lesson by using his plow. He decided to chip off the Hastinapura city with the Kshatriyas, with the Kauravas, and drown that in the Yamuna river. So when he just began to carve out this tract of land called Hastinapura, then the Kauravas realized their mistake and they went to him and begged forgiveness. And immediately he forgave them and he restored that land back in its place. So these are the pastimes of the Supreme Lord in his various incarnations. So he's called Balarama or Halayudha Rama. So this Parashurama, he killed the Kshatriya community as a whole 21 times. With the blood of the Kshatriyas, he pleased the souls of his forefathers. Later on, he underwent severe penances at the Mahendra Parvata because he wanted to teach, even though his killing the Kshatriya was justified, but still the killing business is very, very sinful activity. Killing is sinful. So in order to teach us that killing is not good, so he himself underwent severe austerities in order to free himself from the sin of killing so many millions of Kshatriyas. Actually, there is no sin on his part because he himself is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So there is no sin. Because whoever he kills will be liberated, will be purified. Being killed by God, one becomes liberated, purified of all sinful reactions. So there is no sin on the part of the Supreme Lord when the Supreme Lord kills any person in this world. So it's a favor done by the Supreme Lord upon a soul, a sinful soul, because by killing that sinful soul, the Supreme Lord will put an end to that person's sinful activity and also purify him of sinful reactions and also liberate him from this material bondage. So there is more description. We will hear more about Parshurama in another session. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.